World Wide Web. So it is Cypher Sigma Toys here, and yes, after a kind of week break in, this is another episode of the collecting series. So if you're new to the collecting series, you know, if it's toys, movies like I have behind me, comics, anything, these tips are kind of here to help you on your journey, hopefully help you navigate it better, maybe save some time and some money, I hope. That's these are me trying to help you, so hopefully somebody's finding it helpful. So this week's video is basically kind of fitting in the same theme as the other one. We have two kind of aspects to cover, or two subjects, or two items. So in this one, it is Google and it is eBay. And I will use prime examples of stuff behind me and something. So Google is the first thing to use. So Google, obviously, we all use it. We all know how to, more or less, how to use it. It is a great tool. You may find on the bar, and this is something I think has been added in a little while ago, there is a little like camera symbol. So if you go on the bar on the right hand side, you'll see, if you click on that, this is what's called Google Lens. This is so if you have a picture of something, Google will help you find it. So if you are into collecting, so as you may know, like I'm into the Mighty Ducks and stuff like this, you may come across, and I could probably use examples that I find. So say you may be starting toy collecting, and you may see this on the shelf and be like, what is that? If you Google lenses, this will tell you it is a Sectars. And then obviously you could then find out what it should go to if it's complete and stuff like this. So if you're out about in shops and stuff, if you see stuff in charity shops, it's a good thing to kind of use Google Lens to start building up that knowledge and that database to link to what I've said previously. Google Lens is great. It finds most stuff. If you don't find something on Google Lens, the best thing I find is chuck it into a Facebook group and someone will more or less find it for you. I don't think I've seen many people request stuff and they've not found it, but yeah, Google Lens is great for that. It as I say, it picks stuff up, and then from obviously Google Lens you can then search in eBay and stuff, and this is where the eBay comes in. So you may find by watching YouTube, by watching other people, specifically Americans, they like to use something called comps. Now comps is something that is short for completed sales. So if you go on eBay and you search, I don't know, say Spider-Man. So you search Spider-Man and it'll give you a load list. If you go to the filter side of things, so go to the right hand side and filter down, you can scroll down quite far away and it'll have sold listings. This is where you will use this to get a gauge of how much stuff is. So like these Earthworm Jim figures and stuff like this, so that's Cycro. So if I typed it in and typed search in, you may look, if you just type that into Google, there may be someone selling it for 10 quid, there may be someone selling it for £200. Whatever anybody lists it on eBay is down to that person's preference. If you go to the sold listings, it can tell you, like in the past 6 months, how many have sold. So you might find there are 5 sold listings, and they may have sold between £20 and £30. If that is the case, and we'll use this as an example for this video, then you know that that's how much to kind of expect. Now with eBay, obviously there is postage and there is fees on top of that. So it's good to kind of take like 10-20% off of it, and that's what you would expect from other people selling it in groups, maybe like stuff on Vinted, or even if you found it in person. So if you find it in person, going to a car boot or something, that's kind of the price you need to know. So say it was 30 quid, we'll take, say, 20% off of that. That's £4, so £26. So £26 is what you kind of expect to pay. Obviously, if you pay £20 or lower, that is what we would class as a bargain. Obviously, when you go to shops, so especially vintage toy shops, because they have overheads and stuff, this is where sometimes prices go. They can be eBay level, or they can even be more than eBay level. Sometimes, because it's brick and mortar, they have expenses on top of it, and they might not be able to buy in the quantity that some bigger stores do. So the smaller toy shops, that's sometimes stuff you find. But using these two, you get a good gauge of what stuff is. I mean, I've got it for like the Mighty Duck series. Let me just turn the camera. So obviously most of these figures are like 10, 15, 20 pounds. Obviously some of them I've got new, like these two here, they were brand new. They were the first generation. I got these for, I want to think it was like £25 each for 2 figures. Now the figure that I'm missing was at a comic show, a toy show that I went to, and was £70. Now for me, based on what I paid for all of these, I know that is too much for me. You know, if it's 50, then it was in the ballpark because it's a first generation one, and the two I got for about 25 each, I got really, really cheap. I don't think the person knew exactly what they had. I didn't know what they had until I had missed it. So yeah, so hopefully whatever you're collecting you're enjoying, hopefully you're enjoying the journey, and hopefully these videos are helping you out. As I say, so Google Lens, great help understanding what you actually have, and then obviously complete sales on eBay. I say just gives you a realistic thing, because if you don't go by the sold listings and you won't buy what people list it at, some people just are a little bit delusioned in what they think stuff is worth. Anyway, I've been Cypher Sigma Toys. Hope you enjoyed this collecting video. I should be back with some more tips next week. Hope it's sunny and bright where you are, and hope you're having a good time and enjoy the collecting.